Humboldt Squid, the red devil of the Pacific. 200 meters down, sunlight gives up and the Humboldt Squid takes control. They fill the Pacific from Chile to California, hunting in coordinated chaos. Flashing red to white in split seconds, a swarm can light up the dark like a living storm. Each pulse is code surround, strike feed. They don't talk, they strobe. The light show isn't random. Humboldt squids control thousands of color-changing cells called chromatophores, tiny sacs of pigment that expand and contract like living pixels. Each flash is a signal, an underwater Morse code that lets them hunt in sync, even in total darkness. Scientists think this is one of the most advanced communication systems in the ocean. Up to 2 meters long and 50 kilos, they live barely 2 years. All growth, no patience. Hooks instead of suckers, teeth on the arms, a predator built by impatience itself. And yes, they eat their own. When food runs out, conversation turns into consumption. Divers who've met them call it unsettling. One blink calm, the next blood-red fury. Shallow water squids use camouflage. Humboldts live where hiding's impossible. Here in the twilight zone, light is survival, and red is the color of confidence. If the ocean starts flashing, don't celebrate the sunset. Something just got caught. Dana Strobe Squid. The flash that hunts. Deeper still, around 800 to 1,000 meters, lives the Dana Strobe Squid. Found in temperate waters from Japan to the Atlantic, it's a deep-sea hunter built around pure spectacle. Each arm ends with a built-in spotlight bright enough to blind prey or divers. It fires in bursts, stunning fish for the half second it needs to strike. That light comes from photophore's organs packed with chemical reactors that mix luciferin and oxygen to make cold light. A glow with zero heat loss. Some deep-sea squids even host bioluminescent bacteria inside their skin, trading protection for power. The Dana's flash can pulse more than 100 times per minute, turning its body into a living strobe grenade. That light isn't decoration. It's a weapon that resets the food chain every time it fires. One flash, one strike, and darkness takes back everything. At 2 meters long and 150 kilos, it's pure muscle with built-in pyrotechnics. Most deep-sea creatures glow softly, trying to disappear. The Dana does the opposite. It announces itself like an underwater paparazzo. We don't know exactly how long they live, maybe a few short years, like most deep-sea squids, but they burn bright and vanish fast. Not dangerous to us, unless terror by surprise counts. Giant squid, the myth that breathed. For centuries, sailors swore that tentacles the size of masts rose from the deep and dragged ships under. They called it the Kraken, half legend, half nightmare. They weren't wrong about the monster, just the name. What they saw were giant squids, the largest invertebrates on Earth. Found in every major ocean, usually between 500 and 1,000 meters deep, they grow up to 13 meters long and weigh over 250 kilos. They live hidden, probably less than 5 years. But they leave evidence on their enemies, circular scars on sperm whales. That's how we even knew they existed. Whales came back from the dark, tattooed by their prey. Their eyes are among the largest in the animal kingdom, about 25 centimeters across, the size of a dinner plate. Built to catch movement in total darkness, they can detect the shadow of a whale from tens of meters away. Each tentacle ends in suction cups ringed with teeth, and when they strike, they don't chase, they ambush. They hover, wait, and then whip forward faster than a blink. Cameras barely catch them alive, but every recovered body proves the same thing. The Kraken existed. It just turned out to be real science. Glass squid, the invisible passenger. Found from the Atlantic to the Pacific between 500 and 1,200 meters, the glass squid drifts through the midwater like something half forgotten by evolution. Up to 1.5 meters long, a near-transparent balloon of muscle and ammonia, floating in the dark like a thought that never quite formed. You can see its eyes, stomach, even the ink sac through its skin, glowing faintly like a misplaced nightlight. The body's filled with ammonia-rich fluid that bends light almost exactly like seawater, turning it into a moving mirage. Each day, it sinks deeper to hide from the sun, and each night it rises hundreds of meters to feed, a vertical commute between light and darkness. Not scary for what it does, scary for how calmly it does it. Again and again. Grimaldi squids, ghosts and scales of the deep. Go deeper, past the midnight zone into the abyss, beyond 4,000 meters where pressure can crush steel. Here, names start to blur. Even scientists mix them up, because two very different squids share one name, Grimaldi. The first, Grimaldi toothus bonplandi, is a ghost. A transparent wanderer with thread-thin tentacles and a body so delicate it barely seems real. Its organs glow faintly through clear skin, not for display, but defense. Down here, invisibility beats armor. Light never reaches these depths. So being see-through means being safe. It doesn't chase. It lures. Tiny vibrations along its tentacles mimic struggling prey, drawing the curious closer until it strikes. No eyes, no light. Just motion and instinct. Evolution's quietest ambush. But not every Grimaldi fades into the dark. Meet Lepidoteuthis grimaldi, the scale squid. 2 meters long, muscular, and covered in microscopic chitin plates that shimmer like metal dust. Where its namesake turned invisible, this one turned armored. Those scales scatter light, confuse predators, and might even reflect bioluminescent flashes of others. Camouflage by misdirection. It's the deep sea's equivalent of a knight in dull armor. Same name, opposite philosophy. One survives by disappearing, the other by deflecting. Both prove the same truth. Down here, there's no single way to win, only ways not to be seen. Colossal Squid, the tank of the abyss. Deeper than the giants, colder than the myths, around 3,000 to 4,000 meters below Antarctica lives the colossal squid. Shorter than the giant, but thicker, heavier, built like a submarine that decided to grow teeth. Up to 10 meters long and over 500 kilos, each tentacle carries swiveling hooks that bite and twist into flesh. Where the giant squid is speed, the colossal is torque. It doesn't chase prey. It waits for vibrations in the dark, then lunges, dragging anything that moves into its beak. That beak can shear through bone. Its eyes, nearly 30 centimeters across, are the largest of any known creature, bigger than a soccer ball, engineered to spot faint flashes from miles away. Their size isn't just intimidation, it's adaptation. In total blackness, more light means more life. Every scar on a sperm whale tells the same story, somewhere below. This thing fought back. Cold-blooded, cold-hearted, and very, very real. If the giant squid inspired the Kraken legend, the colossal one is what the Kraken wished it was. MagnaPinna squid, the deep unknown. Nearly 6,000 meters down, where light never existed, something moves with impossible grace. The MagnaPinna squid, elegant as silk, alien in every motion. It hovers, perfectly still, its long fins rippling like fabric in slow motion. How could something so extraordinary be so creepy? Each movement looks accidental until the water folds around it. But it doesn't drift. It hunts, an incredible predator. Silent, precise, and faster than a human eye can track. Hanging upright like a signal tower, it can snap one tentacle downward in a lightning-fast strike, while the others stay perfectly poised in silence. Each filament stretches over 12 meters, thin as thread, strong as instinct. They flick, coil, and lash out faster than the water can follow. At these depths, every twitch costs energy. So if it moves, it's on purpose. And if you ever saw it move, it surely saw you first. The deeper the ocean gets, the stranger survival becomes. Down here, the rules don't break. They mutate. Stay curious, and see you in the next one.